We got a banger today. We about to find out what not to do when you go to court. Even though it should be obvious, but you'll see.
Yeah, this court.
Hey! What's up?
Oh, he looked like a menace.
Go now.
This is Deobra Redden, who's facing charges for attempted battery in Nevada. 30-year-old
We know he a problem.
After he allegedly attacked a man with a baseball bat. He pleaded guilty and faced a possible sentence of 1 to 4 years in prison. At his sentencing, Redden had a calm and matter-of-fact exchange with Clark County District Judge Mary Kay Holthus.
Based on my criminal history, like I feel that like I shouldn't be like sent to prison for a second time.
Have you looked at your criminal history? Have you looked at your criminal history?
I've actually just I looked at it.
I mean, you lived it, I
I
suppose.
just looked at it, yeah.
Yeah.
Judge Holthus then reminded Redden of his criminal history.
And, you know,
3 felonies, a gross, 9 misdemeanors, multiple DVs. Got a
DV.
lot going on, sir.
yeah.
The hell is a
I
DV?
just feel like
Battery on a protected person, robberies, attempt home invasion.
Domestic
Redden,
violence.
who struggled with mental health issues like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, tried to convince the judge that he deserved a second chance.
I feel like I shouldn't be sent to prison, but if it's appropriate for you, then you have to do what you have to do. But I figured that, you know, if I'm in a better place in my life, I'm not doing drugs, I'm not out there committing crimes now, you know, and I feel like I should be given a shot because I'm in a better place than I was.
But Judge Holthus was having none of it.
I appreciate that, but I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history.
They gave you
This
too
is
many
when
chances
things
already.
got crazy.
That's what she means.
Redden
That
launched
man got
into
in there.
court
How he
on
get
bench
all the way over
and
the
headed
guy?
straight for Judge Holthus. Eventually, deputies were able to restrain him.
I know she was scared as hell. He bogus. That's still a woman at the end of the day. Yeah, pound his ass out. Don't beat his ass.
As alarms went off in the courtroom, people started to call for help.
That's affirmative. Medical is requested. Judge's chambers.
Yeah, he gonna. Yeah. Medical is needed now. This man just tried to attack a woman in court because she was doing the right thing, keeping your deranged ass off the street. You supposed to be in a cell, my boy.
Big laceration to his head. Judge hit her head into the wall, and I got an inmate that's bleeding up here.
It's going to be
Yeah.
a positive transport to...
We got an inmate bleeding up here.
I'm also going to need a biohazard cleanup for a lot of blood on the floor.
Oh, that's
It
a
was
lot of
later
blood here.
found
They
that Redden
put
allegedly
the
punched Judge
they put the
Holthus and pulled out parts
smack
of her
down
hair.
your
One marshal
hair.
had to be hospitalized and needed 25 stitches after suffering a forehead injury, as well as a
the marshal was bleeding. I ain't see that man swing. I thought they was whooping his ass. The marshal bleeding.
dislocated shoulder. A few days later, Redden was seen in court again, heavily
Oh,
shackled.
They got motherfucking mittens on his ass and everything, man. A mask, a fucking spit rag. He can't. You deserve it, man.
And wearing a spit mask for the sentencing of his initial assault case.
Good morning. All right, this is on for the continuation of Mr. Redden's sentencing. For purposes of the record, I want to make it clear that I am not changing or modifying the sentence I was in the process
Make it worse.
of last week before I was interrupted by defendant's actions. All right, that being said, in accordance with the laws of the state of Nevada, this court does now sentence you, in addition to the $25 administrative assessment fee, $150 DNA fee, the $3 DNA administrative assessment fee, and $250 indigent defense fee, 19 to 48 months in the Nevada Department of Corrections.
Additionally, he faced 13 new charges for the attack on Judge Holthus, including attempted murder, battery, and extortion by...
Attempted murder. Now that's just ridiculous. Like, yeah, he's supposed to got some more time, but additional charges, attempted murder, though. Like, are you kidding me right now? Unless he was screaming, "I'm gonna kill you," or he tried to choke her or something. Attempted murder, though. No, because it says attempted murder and attempted battery. So he didn't even get his hands on her. He attempted to. Where's the attempted murder coming from? Now they just bullshitting now.
Threat. If convicted, Redden could spend decades in prison. Diabra Redden is a prime example of a convict.
She got up out of there, though.
In court. However, whatever a man can do, a woman can do better. Like in the case of Melissa Hardwick, who was in Russell and Wayne County Family Court in Kentucky for a domestic violence hearing. Melissa's ex-husband had filed a domestic violence order against her.
Your statements in your petition as part of your testimony, but I need you to tell me briefly, in your own words, what happened to cause you to ask for a domestic violence order.
Yes, Your Honor. Things have been escalating, I guess, since the first of the year, and Melissa's had a couple MIWs and a couple arrests.
MIW, somebody let me know what that is. I don't know.
And she got out of jail in, I guess, April. And she started, we hadn't really had anything personal up until that point. She got out of jail in April.
He was explaining the situation when suddenly Melissa erupted.
My personal life is
No.
your business, John. It has nothing to do with
Miss
you
Hardwick?
boys. No.
You will be held in contempt of this court if you become disruptive.
I don't care. I haven't done anything to this court. I haven't done anything to him.
She will be arrested for contempt of the court.
It doesn't make any difference.
You will serve 10 days for contempt of court.
She was arrested for contempt.
Why wouldn't you just shut up?
Sentenced to 10 days in jail. This is when things got crazy.
Fuck 10, give me 35. I don't want 10 days, I want 2 years.
Leapfrogged towards the judge, but thankfully, court deputies stopped her just in time. However, that did not stop her verbal threats.
She hauled me.
Can't find back.
Wait and see. Get my bracelet off the floor.
Melissa faced additional criminal charges for her antics.
A new judge will have to be appointed to represent because she will be charged criminally for the threats that were made in open court today.
Eventually, Melissa was sentenced to 120 days in prison for her outburst. While Melissa Hardwick got off easy for her antics in
said
court,
you're getting 10
how does
days.
it compare to spitting
She said,
on a
"Char-
judge?" Like
times
in the
that by
case of
12.
30-year-old Bass Webb, who's in court on attempted murder charges. CCTV footage outside a Kentucky jail showed Webb, a former inmate who spent 3 months there on assault charges, intentionally hitting 2 prison workers with his car. While one guy managed to dodge it, the other was not so lucky. Webb was arrested and produced in court before Judge Vanessa Dixon.
He get out of jail and go back up there in his car and run over people. Tell me you miss living here without telling me you miss living here.
Yes.
Since she knew the 2 jail employees beforehand, Judge Dixon decided to recuse herself from the case.
There's no way I'm going to try this case or have any further proceedings, or I have to see you for one further step.
But what Webb did next shocked the whole courtroom.
Set preliminary hearing for next week.
Webb literally spat
Like,
on Judge
bro.
Dixon, clearly taking her by surprise.
And she like, motherfucker, you kidding me?
After initially dismissing him, Judge Dixon brought Webb back, charged him, and threw him out of the courtroom. Nevertheless, this is not the end of Webb's defiance of the law. While awaiting trial, Webb started a riot with other inmates inside the Fayette County Detention Center.
Oh, he a menace.
Webb was shot with beanbag bullets and even hit in the
He
neck
ain't
with a
say
pepper ball.
shit. Oh, man.
In retaliation, Webb swung a metal telephone box at a corrections officer.
Oh, he
was
like
charged
that.
again for his actions and sentenced to 15 years in.
He don't even look like, he look like the motherfucker that'll be knocking at your door trying to fix your water pumps and shit. This motherfucker look like he the boss of some motherfucking random ass company around here and shit. What the fuck?
I will accept the jury's recommendation.
Outstanding citizen looking ass, boy.
Enhanced to 15 years pursuant to the persistent felony offender of first degree.
Additionally, Webb was convicted of attempting to murder the 2 jail employees and got an additional 37 years, facing a total of 52 years of prison time. During this time, new evidence came up linking Webb to the unsolved murder of his ex-girlfriend, Bria Runewitz. While incarcerated, Webb had bragged to a detective about murdering the 32-year-old. To escape the death penalty, Webb pleaded guilty and got an additional 50 years in prison. Now, if that wasn't enough,
he wanted to be in there.
Another cold case came to haunt
Webb.
He
guilty.
This time, he was charged with the murder of another ex-girlfriend, Sabrina Vaughn. This time, Webb appeared in court with a sinister tattoo on his head.
See, this the thing. This right here, you can tell that he did some time in jail. He got institutionalized, and he came back outside and realized that he felt better inside. This macho act and everybody giving you the what you call it, like, you know, making you feel better about yourself on the inside. You don't get that on the outside, so you do shit to go back in. That's what I'm getting from him. He want to be in there because how he feel. You know what I'm saying? He feel inferior inside more than he do outside. Outside, he's a regular Joe Blow.
He had a murder hit list of all the people he intended to kill, including all judges, all prosecutors, all cops, the media, 3 rats that had been crossed out, and many more. Webb was convicted and sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
You have found the defendant guilty of the offense of intentional murder.
While Bass Webb's audacious acts in the courtroom shocked everyone, how does it compare to elbowing your own lawyer? Like in the case of Joseph Zeeler, a double murder suspect in Cape Coral, Florida. Back in May 1990, 11-year-old Robin Cornell and her babysitter Lisa Story were found assaulted and murdered at their home. The gruesome scene was discovered by Robin's mom, Jan Cornell, who called 911.
I get so angry when it comes to kids, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the? You sexually assaulting kids and then you killing them, bro? Like, just kill this man. Just don't give them life. Give them the death penalty and make it quick. Don't let them sit on the death row for 20-some years and not even a year. Get it done in 30 days.
The case went cold for over 2 decades until Zeeler was arrested in 2016 for shooting and injuring his son. His DNA was collected and entered into the database, which matched the DNA evidence from the 1990 crime scene.
Ugly ass man.
Now, Joseph Zeeler was actually arrested for another crime, and that's how detectives were able to get his fingerprints and DNA samples. His sample was put into a database called CODIS, and that database also stores unknown DNA samples, including those from the Cornell Story case. Now, when the system ran, that's when detectives got a hit linking Zeeler to this 26-year-old murder case.
Zeeler was further arrested
and ain't no telling what else he did in the 26 years he was at large.
Prosecutors sought the death penalty.
Yeah, kill him.
The kind of factors which makes what the defendant did to Robin Cornell and Lisa Story so grave, so serious, that death is the appropriate recommendation.
Yep.
That death is the appropriate sentence.
11.
Zeeler then
the
took
girl
the
was
stands.
11.
He initially
How are you even attracted to
victims
something like that?
And Jan.
Do you know Jan Cornell?
No, I don't know Jan Cornell.
Do you know Lisa Story?
No.
Do you know Robin Cornell?
No.
But later said his DNA was at the crime scene because he and Jan were involved in intimate acts the night before the murders.
And what I believe happened is I slept with Jan Cornell and Leanne Deller, and they were just too much of a pig not to wash their sheets.
He even called the victim's mother a pig.
Your DNA would have still been there 5 months later.
Yes.
And that's because they're pigs and they don't wash their sheets, right?
Exactly.
You know that?
Well, I assume that. Just like you're assuming that
But just so the record's clear, when I said they're pigs and they wash their sheets, that's what you said.
Absolutely.
Zeeler then claimed that the prosecutor was framing him.
Well, the DNA witnesses, did you hear them say that they actually did retest NB32, that they actually took the sheet, recut another sample, and had another analyst do the same test? Did you hear that?
Yes.
So the retesting was done.
And it came back to your nasty ass.
I believe FDLE is siding with the prosecution. Of course they're going to say that.
Eventually, the jury found Zeeler guilty of first-degree murder.
Yeah, and kill him.
We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the charge. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder of Robin Cornell. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 2 of the charge. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder of Lisa Story.
But what Zeeler did next left the whole courtroom stunned. At his sentencing, Zeeler appeared in handcuffs. First, he asked his attorney for a private discussion.
He looked like he want to do something to him, too. Look at him.
What's that?
Eyeballing him. What you mad at him for? God couldn't save you from this one, man.
As the attorney leaned in, Zeeler threw a cheap shot with his elbow. Thankfully, detectives quickly subdued him.
Now that was just dumb.
All right. I ain't doing nothing. Relax. I'm calm.
Are you okay?
That was stupid. You mad at him.
Meanwhile, the lawyer saw the funny side of the incident.
I used to box. I've taken a lot better shots than that.
After the dust settled, it was time for Zeeler to learn his fate.
The court's review of other capital cases has led the court to conclude that the death penalty would be a proportionate sentence in this case.
Yep.
Therefore, the court concludes that under the laws of the state of Florida, the defendant has forfeited his right to live.
He was sentenced to the death penalty.
Accordingly, it is ordered and adjudged that the defendant, Joseph Adam Zeeler, is hereby sentenced to death for the murder of Robin Cornell and the murder of Lisa Story.
While Joseph Zeeler's attack on his
that
defense
elbow sealed the deal. They said, "Oh man, he did."
How does it compare to punching someone out of the blue, like in the case of Christopher Teal, who was in the King County courtroom facing sexual assault charges in Seattle, Washington?
Damn!
Reports suggest that Teal, a homeless man, followed a woman inside a restroom at a Volkswagen dealership and assaulted her. He was arrested after company employees barged in and stopped the attack. Teal was charged with first-degree sexual assault and unlawful imprisonment. He appeared in court for a competency hearing represented by his lawyer.
Why he ain't had handcuffs on?
As the hearing began,
how was he
Teal
even
seemed
able to touch
and raised his arm towards
How was he able to
Berkland
touch somebody
before being stopped by a court officer?
Mr. Teal's present. He's in custody. He's represented by counsel, Mr. Berkland.
Then suddenly, without provocation, Teal snapped.
Standing from his counsel, who I'll defer to in a moment, that they are now stipulating that Mr.
Out of nowhere, Teal punched his own lawyer.
Lawyer or not, you still a human being. Somebody hit me, I'm hitting them back. It should have been 2 swings, not just 1.
Luckily, the police quickly managed to subdue him.
You would have seen my hand and my black ass skin and my motherfucking tattoos coming right back.
Put your hand behind your back now.
A spit hood was placed over his head, and Teal was removed from the courtroom. Berkland was unhurt in the incident, barring his pride. He promptly withdrew from the case.
Regarding the Christopher Teal matter.
No.
Okay. I have a question though. Are you running a diminished capacity or insanity or anything of that nature?
I don't have anything to talk about.
The next
Why
time
would you
Teal appeared in
withdraw?
court,
You might as well
the
get paid for
officers
that
assured
smack.
He wouldn't be punching anyone. Teal was seen heavily strapped to a chair. However, he still had one complaint. Teal's biggest concern was how his hair looked in his mugshot.
I'd like to know where the they got that photo of me with my short hair. Because that was on Facebook, and I don't have a Facebook.
All right.
Then how was it on Facebook?
So you're on a legitimate question. Like, do they have access to Google?
What?
The judge scheduled another hearing in a week's time. Eventually, Teal was sentenced to 8.5 years in prison. While Teal's reaction could certainly be dismissed as a mental health issue, what happens when you get into a
what? 8 years for rape? I thought you get way more than that. You motherfucking should.
Wrestling match with the judge. Like in the
You know how many women out here selling themselves and you out here stealing it?
Violence charge in Pike County Justice Court in Mississippi. Southern District Judge Aubrey Rhymes was presiding over the hearing. Newsom initially seemed to be in a good mood as he reviewed some papers.
You can go to the bar and find it for free.
But an altercation with a court officer seemed to agitate him. Newsom was then asked to sign some papers.
I done found some pussy that
presented to Judge Rhymes.
one shot of motherfucking
However,
Duce.
Newsom was not ready to rest his case. He furiously argued with Judge Rhymes, who promptly asked the officer to remove him from the court. As he was being led from the courtroom, Newsom lost it.
It's crazy because there's other black dudes in there.
First, he grabbed a stack of papers and threw it at Judge Rhymes. The officer tried to subdue him, but Newsom managed to overpower her.
And they not gonna let him overpower that woman if he tried to.
He then threw a telephone at the judge. This is when the judge decided to take matters into his own hands. As Newsom threw more paper at him, Judge Rhymes single-handedly
his family
to the table.
They should have been over there and helped.
And taken from the courtroom. He faced additional charges for contempt of court and served 48 hours in prison. Sidney Newsom's courtroom antics were definitely crazy, but how does it compare to headbutting a police officer? Like in the case of Daniel Stewart.
I'm gonna end it here. Thank y'all for watching, but what y'all think about that?